Coming up on City Spotlight, Season 10, with another episode featuring two communities. First, we head to Villa Grove for our first time on City Spotlight, as we talk Villa Grove Schools with Dr. Carol Munson, Superintendent of Villa Grove Schools. Dr. Munson gives an overview of the Villa Grove School District. Then it's off to Urbana, as we catch up on the latest in Urbana with Urbana Mayor Diane Wolfe Marlin, as we learn about the latest economic development and infrastructure in Urbana. We're on location here in Season 10, talking Villa Grove and Urbana, here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this new episode here featuring two communities. And in our first segment, we're going to feature our latest community here on City Spotlight. Community number 24 is Villa Grove, and we are taping here at Villa Grove Schools to talk education in Villa Grove. And to help us out, we welcome first time to the program, a first time guest here on City Spotlight, very exciting, Dr. Carol Munson, Superintendent of Villa Grove Schools. Carol, welcome to the program.
Thank you for the invitation.
Glad to have another community and educator on City Spotlight here, and we're talking Villa Grove Schools here in this first segment. And before we learn about Villa Grove Schools, an overview of the school district that you lead, let's learn about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
All right. Probably the pertinent information that you want to know. This is my 25th year in education,
Wow.
My 17th as an administrator, my 4th year as a superintendent and on the job here in Villa Grove.
And prior to us hitting the record button, you told me you pretty much a Central Illinois native.
Correct.
You educate, work in Villa Grove. You live in one community or from another. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Just growing up, I actually did grow up in Hammond, went to Atwood Hammond Schools, was a Raja.
Very good.
And all throughout school, I always had kind of a passion for education. I always loved school. Mm-hmm. I know probably a lot of educators say that. But participated in many things, sports, clubs, extracurriculars, very active in my small school. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of bled over. I didn't originally intend to go into education.
Right.
I was actually a kinesiology and bioscience major, so I was looking more towards physical therapy. Mm-hmm. Did some coaching in the interim once I graduated college, and it just kind of led me back to education. And I feel like that's where I was meant to be.
And you said you started here in Villa Grove at a very interesting time, the summer of 2020. I think I won't have you dive too much into it because I want to let you have the time to talk about this school district, but what an interesting time to start a new position. But glad to have you on here on City Spotlight, your 4th year in Villa Grove Schools. So let's talk about our latest Douglas County community and this school district. It's all under one building, and just tell us about K through 12, all in one building in Villa Grove.
Well, it's really interesting. This is a new situation to me, even from the small communities I've either lived in, taught in, or been an administrator. I've never been in a district where everybody was under one roof, and it definitely has some advantages. Everybody's accessible. It's much easier to visit all levels. For me, I feel like our principals are in close contact with each other. They're very much in tune to what's going on in each other's buildings. Right. We have 2 principals here. And it makes it easy for our older kids to help mentor our younger ones.
Yes. Another Douglas County community off the top of my head, Arcola, also kind of all under one building, and the security element.
Yes.
Very much
that's
so.
True.
Let's learn a little bit about your building. Looks like some parts have been added. Give us a little history of your
Okay.
Your building.
Our building is actually, as far as the build part, is in 3 segments. We've got the original addition, which is the high school, which was built in 1919.
Okay.
And then in 1960, there was the addition of the high school gym. And then in 1966, they added on the elementary portion.
Very good.
And then in 2021, it was actually finished. We had built a new junior high gym, and some classrooms. So that was the latest addition.
That was the latest addition. I was just going to ask, what are some recent updates that you've had? Is that the most notable thing, 2021, or have there been little things added since then?
Well, along with that, the gym and the 4 additional classrooms in that wing are definitely the most notable. You know, it's been wonderful having that additional space, and not having to share one gym.
Yes.
But they did an office renovation that was just prior to me getting here. This past summer, we put new windows in the front of the high school, and that will be an ongoing project going on around. But the front does have brand new windows and entrance doors to the main building there.
Okay. Very good. I was just going to say we're sharing this episode with you for the first time, December 2023. So I was going to say, is there any future work? So the windows are an ongoing project into next
in phases year. At this point, that's the plan, is to continue on with that. And then just do some necessary, we've got plans in the works for, within a few years, getting the roof replaced and do some of those necessary, some tuck pointing and some of those necessary items.
Question that I've asked many superintendents, educators, K through 12, the original portion is over 100 years old. What are the challenges of maintaining one building that's, I guess in your case, they're all different ages, so.
There are.
What are the challenges of that?
Well, with the older building, definitely, they weren't built with the same accessibility as what buildings today are, so that's kind of a challenge. Over the years, there's been a lift that's been installed to help with mobility and things like that. And of course, with us, the old boiler plant, that's what still, the steam heat, that produces some challenges that modern buildings don't have, but we're doing good.
Okay, and we'll just continue to follow it up the next time we tape with you. Let time elapse, and we'll see what else has transpired there. So let's talk about the folks that are inside the building you have, inside the walls, your teachers, your staff, your students. Which one do you want to highlight first? To give you the floor.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just have to say.
Start with your principals, I guess.
Okay. Because I think staff, that's truly the highlight of this district, and I would assume, that we have great people. Let's start with I've got 2 principals. Okay. One of the high school principal, she has grown up in this community, went to school here, taught school here, and is now the high school, junior high and high school principal. Right. The elementary principal, he's taught here, I believe he taught here or has been here for like 17 years.
So you have some folks that are very familiar.
They're very familiar. And they have been a wonderful team to work with as far as an administrative team. Our teachers, I feel like we have such dedicated teachers. They are invested, whether they live here or not. They are so invested in our students and our families and just doing, everything they can. We've had some wonderful new hires also. Okay. So we've got new hires to balance out some of our veteran teachers. And it's just been really nice coming here and being a part of what they have to offer. And then, of course, the students, that's the whole reason we're here. Again, it's I feel like small town at its best. Yes. We know our kids, we know our families, and it just makes for a really nice, close-knit community feel.
Love coming to these smaller communities because there is certainly a different vibe. Not to belittle our bigger communities in Central Illinois, but there is definitely that very big heart in the smaller communities. I was just going to ask because in my recent episodes I've seen a trend, so I wasn't sure if you answered the question. You've had some new hires and staff changes come along, but you've had a lot of continuity. Obviously, you said your 2 principals are very familiar. So,
yes.
So overall, you've had a nice run here of the same people. And
yes, I feel helps. Like that stable leadership has really made for some consistency here at school.
I haven't asked this question because I haven't interviewed a new superintendent in a while. So what's your current enrollment in Villa Grove schools?
Right now, as of this year, I believe we have 633 students. Okay. I can just say our enrollment here, because that was one of the things I really looked at prior to taking the job here. Right. really kind of unique for small schools because a lot of times you have some declining enrollment, especially over a long span of time. Villa Grove's, at least in the last 10 years, has been pretty stable. A little bit of ups and downs, but really pretty stable enrollment. And so I think that speaks a lot to the value of school here in this community.
And in future episodes, we look forward to talking with the mayor of Villa Grove and talk about the community and the population. And so that steady enrollment means folks are choosing Villa Grove as a destination to live and send their kids to. Very good. All right, the students, they're here, they learn, and they also benefit from programs. So are there any programs that you'd like to highlight at this point before we close with you?
Some of our programs, we offer quite a bit for a small school, and one of the things that we are a part of the new LIFT program that we are able to offer for our kids that are down in Mattoon. I'm sure you're very familiar. So we do have kids taking advantage of that. A lot of
communities are in that.
Yes, it's a wonderful thing. At least a lot of the communities surrounding here, I know, are taking advantage.
Off the top of your head, how many kids from Villa Grove are a part of that LIFT program?
I believe we have 8 students that are a part of that, and then we also are a part of the Parkland EFE, so the Education for Employment, that also offers opportunities and some dual credit and things.
It really is amazing to just hear from you talking about you have 8 kids in the LIFT program. Just so many opportunities outside the main walls. That and these programs that are offered. CTEC down in Effingham, CEO, just so many opportunities. Kids these days,
really
programs that I didn't have when I was a kid.
And stuff that smaller schools can't offer just by themselves, but really getting kids in touch with the trades and different things and opportunities to really work with people in those trades.
Okay, very good. And I'm sure we have more time to elaborate, but I wanted to get this question in. I think it's a fitting end to our first Villa Grove segment here on City Spotlight. Dr. Munson, what do you enjoy about being an educator in Villa Grove?
Again, the community and the people. When I took the job, I knew it was a good fit. I knew what I was looking for in taking my first superintendency. But I couldn't have even imagined that I would enjoy working here as much as I do. And I would just say, number one, the people, the staff, the students, the community, it's been a great experience. I made the right choice.
All right, very good. And we made the choice to come to Villa Grove and talk with Dr. Carol Munson, first segment on City Spotlight. She's the superintendent of Villa Grove Schools. Dr. Munson, Carol, we look forward to having you on the program down the road.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And that was our first segment on Villa Grove here on City Spotlight. In our next segment, we're going to change locations and communities as we head up the road on Route 130 to Urbana and catch up with Urbana Mayor Diane Marlin. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities in the communities of Villa Grove and Urbana. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this new on-location episode featuring 2 communities here in Season 10. As promised, we've traveled up Route 130 from Villa Grove to Urbana. We're back at Urbana City Hall as we tape here on November 27th. That means we're talking back again for a second time here on City Spotlight with the Mayor of Urbana, Diane Wolfe Marlin. Diane, great to have you back on the program.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much for letting us back in the offices here at the City of Urbana. About 18 months have transpired since we last taped with Diane back there in the first part of 2022, and let's get right into what's going on in Urbana here. Is about 5 weeks to go in 2023. It's amazing how time flies. Economic development, and let's start with here in downtown Urbana, H-Mart. What is that?
Well, it's a big deal for downtown Urbana. One of our goals is to activate our downtown, and when you were here last, we had just learned that H-Mart planned to locate a supermarket in downtown Urbana. It's a nationwide chain of Asian grocery stores, supermarkets. So they are a few weeks out from submitting their design for renovation of a empty supermarket. And we expect that to be a huge draw to our downtown. We have a very large international community here in Champaign-Urbana, especially at the University of Illinois.
Yes, that diversity you talked about the last time we taped.
Yes.
Right near us here at City Hall in downtown Urbana, a familiar location and kind of call it an iconic looking place there that people in Urbana are familiar with. The former Urbana Lincoln and Landmark Hotel, now going to be called the Hotel Royer.
Yes.
And there's some stuff going on there.
Long history with this project. We have a potential completion date of February 2024. This will mark the 100th anniversary of the opening of this hotel. So
Wow.
this developer is going to bring back the hotel as a member of the Hilton Tapestry Boutique Hotel chain. So it will be high-end, high quality of service, and they are restoring a lot of the historic elements of the original 100-year-old hotel. So we're very excited about that, and we're this close. And it's been a 20-year project.
It has to be very gratifying to have a place, a facility that has been, I know it was called the Landmark Hotel, but I want to use the word landmark. It's got a very beautiful old, at least on the outside, I don't think I've been on the inside, but to be able to continue that, because a lot of things in this modern age, they close and the facility never reopens.
Or they get torn down.
Yes.
And in this case, we were fortunate to have a developer who wanted to preserve as much of the history of the building as possible and yet modernize it to meet the needs and expectations of the public today. So we're excited that they've been able to strike that balance, and there's no other hotel anywhere around that has the history and the memories and the meaning that this building has for our community. So we're very excited about that.
Fantastic to be able to share that information, and as Diane said, right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
2024, it'll be getting going. We won't list specific names of food places, but you have a variety of food joints or whatever you want, establishments that have opened since we last taped, Diane. And one thing that you talked about last time, and we already kind of mentioned it, maybe diversity. And it's a variety of food places that have opened up in Urbana, and that certainly reflects the people of Urbana.
Sure, yeah. Our restaurants in Urbana and the community reflect the people of the community. So, you can get African food, you can get Middle Eastern food, you can get Thai food, Mexican, American food.
Yes.
So there's a lot of choices, and like many communities, we're still in the recovery from the pandemic, so we've had some establishments close, but I'm happy to say that the spaces on Main Street are filled again, and it took a couple of years for that recovery to take place. So, and we're actually welcoming an ice cream shop to Main Street, so we're excited about that.
Can't have enough ice cream places.
No, you can't ever have enough ice cream.
Yum, yum. Let's talk about some things that are helping out the community, and the microloan fund established recently here.
Yeah.
In the fall of this year.
That was one of 25 projects funded with the American Rescue Plan Act funds. Last time you were here, we talked about this, that the city had received, had $10 million. And the City Council went through a very thoughtful, months-long process to identify, take applications and identify organizations. They first established goals that they wanted to focus on business recovery, on housing security, food security, health and wellness. And so then the applications were taken for those areas. And one of the applications was through Justine Peterson, and it's microloans for businesses. So we're working with the Champaign County Economic Development Corporation to do that program.
When we last taped, it was one of the last things you talked about in our first taping, and you were very excited about that moving forward. So again, it's continuing to progress where you wanted it to go.
Well, yes, we made the final allocations in the spring of this year. We have agreements with all the organizations, and they have until 2026 to spend the funds. So one of the other major projects funded was $2 million to the Urbana Park District to build the help build the Health and Wellness Center, and that's going to be a huge improvement as well.
Very good. City of Urbana business grants, is that something you can talk about with us?
Yeah, sure. We still have a program where we've modified that program now, so we do signage grants depending on where a business is located. If it's in a TIF district, then we also have TIF funds that can go toward businesses. So we have a variety of programs that provide incentives and support businesses that are opening in Urbana.
Big and small.
Big and small.
Very good. One of your key points you wanted to emphasize, Diane, the last time, I want to follow up on it, was systematically improving infrastructure.
Yes.
And a couple of things in there, planning stages of a couple of fire stations.
Absolutely, and it's more than just fire stations. One of the things we did when I first took office is we systematically evaluated the condition of all the public infrastructure, streets, sidewalks, we're doing street lights, we're doing storm sewers, and our public facilities. And from that information, we've developed plans for addressing the backlog of needs in each of those areas. Our facilities assessment resulted in the development of a facilities master plan. And again, we're being very thoughtful about what we tackle first. So since you were here last, we've completed 2 of the 3 major projects that were on the list. We've built a huge vehicle storage building for our Public Works Department. So the first time in forever, most of our trucks and vehicles can be parked inside instead of standing out in the weather. Long overdue. Our remodeling of our police department, our finance department, and our city building lobby and all that is almost complete. That'll be done next month.
Yeah, that's something
December.
you talked about last time. That has to be very gratifying because this is obviously where you conduct your business.
Absolutely, and it's where we serve the public. So all this was designed to be more convenient for the public and frankly provide better security for employees and the public as well. And then the third big project, part of our facilities, first phase of the facilities master plan, is the construction of 2 new fire substations. So in the time since you've been here, we have purchased property either across the street or nearby for the 2 stations, and we're in the design phase now. So the architects are busy making the plans, and we hope to begin construction let the bids out and begin construction first half of next year.
Kind of as one of my following questions about what's on tap for 2024, but any notable, you had several roads that were worked on the first time we taped with you, any notable road work that you can speak of that transpired here in 2023?
Let me think.
Last time we taped, you said there was some notable University Avenue work.
Oh yeah.
And whatnot.
I've lost track of time. Yes, that University Avenue was a $10 million project. That's a state highway, but we worked closely with them, so that's made a huge difference in pedestrian, bicycle, and vehicle safety on University Avenue. We have continued to work on Windsor Road. We are. And then our pavement plan is addressing problems before they get to be emergencies, and so we're doing repairs all over the city for that as well.
Well, I want to ask you, Diane, thank you very much on that, on infrastructure, and something that you definitely are emphasizing very much so in your time as mayor, and look forward to following up on that with you. As I catch a city leader or community leader at the end of a calendar year, I get to ask you the proverbial, what are you thankful for in 2023 in Urbana?
Well, I am always thankful for the amazing staff we have in the city. I'm always grateful for the people who are carrying out the work. I'm grateful to the community for caring so much, and I'm thankful we survived another year and thrived. And I have to think the pandemic is going to be a defining period of my tenure as mayor, and we are still recovering and moving on from that. And we learned a lot from the pandemic, and we've made some permanent changes as well. So, in terms of remote working, in terms of outdoor activity, and that sort of thing. And one other thing on infrastructure, that I'm very proud of is we have a program called Equal. It stands for Equity and Quality of Life, and we allocated $2 million toward infrastructure projects in neighborhoods that sometimes get overlooked in our capital improvement plan. And the way we went about determining what we were going to do is we asked the community, we asked the people who live in the neighborhoods, what would make life better for you in your neighborhood? And we set a limit of about $250,000 per project. And so it was things like streetlights and better sidewalks, curb cuts, things that help people just in their everyday lives. So we have 10 projects that we're funding.
This is something that you did talk about last time. So people gave you specific things in specific neighborhoods.
We had about 75 different applications. We racked and stacked them, and we were able to select 10 projects for funding, and they ranged anywhere from, a couple $100,000 to maybe a little bit more. But we're going to actually fix the things that people tell us that they want fixed, and sometimes things we wouldn't have thought about. But again, it was the basics like streetlights and sidewalks, and which improve safety and quality of life and just being able to live in your neighborhood. So I'm very proud of that approach.
Those small things that people do value and appreciate in their area. So what a great project. Very good.
Absolutely.
Well, we did cover a lot in a short time span, Diane. 12 minutes went by fast, and thank you for that update on what's transpiring in the city of Urbana. Diane Wolfe Marlin, the mayor of Urbana, thank you for coming on City Spotlight once again.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. And that'll do it for our latest City Spotlight combo episode featuring the communities of Villa Grove and Urbana. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for tuning in to City Spotlight. You can check out past episodes, including the one you're watching right now, on YouTube. To check out recent episodes of Central and Southeastern Illinois towns featured on City Spotlight, search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the last 5 episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.